split, 7.5 seconds over Belgium, with China at 56.60. This is our intermediate spinner. That's impressive.
Yeah, for the first time check, they're on a mission, but quite expected, I think. Very experienced Spanish riders here.
My question is whether their women are going to be matching the women in the other squads, and I'm not so sure they are. But you never know. Paula Blasi is a great rider. Benito's a good rider. Osterladser's good. But have they got the time trial speed that we need them to have in order to give Spain a medal chance?
Agavi Marcia might have been a good addition.
Yeah. I saw her this morning training and thought, do you know what? Actually, this course is good for Mavi Garcia.
She's a powerful rider. She's strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe, you know, like I said, some teams are lining up here for a medal. They're lining up with a huge ambition for a medal, and there are other teams that are just giving opportunity for the developing riders in their nation to experience. And maybe it's an event that a discipline that they will focus on in the future. But each of these teams have different ambitions here today. Belgium in a little bit of trouble here now.
Campenaerts just trying to stay in the wheels. This is the Belgian squads that we were talking about. Marieke Mertz, Tess Merman and Julie van der Velde. Keeping those ice jackets on.
I must say, when I just ducked out for the loo, Anthony, it is extremely warm out there. So even though the temperatures are only reading around 30 degrees, it feels super, it's a different feeling here in Rwanda.
It is.
An absolute different feeling. So it's, yeah, and we had a little bit of rain earlier, but now the sun is shining and just the heat off the sun is really strong.
Mauritius are about to go, featuring Kim LaCour, the rider who wore the yellow jersey of the Tour de France Femme, won a stage of the Tour de France Femme this year. She is about to go. Kim LaCour with her teammates Lucie de Marigny-Lagesse and Aurélie Halboachs. Those three riders are about to go. Kim LaCour of the team of AG Insurance Soudal. The Mauritian team across the line now. It's time to get underway. Mauritius are the 5th fastest time so far at the handover point. Spain are currently the fastest team on the course. And Spain now have lost a rider. So they've lost Alvarez. Hector Alvarez is gone, the rider who rides for the Little Trek Future team. And it's Ivan Romeo and Raul Garcia who are powering their way to the top. This looks like it's extremely hard. Romeo just desperately trying to stay there. Head right down, focusing on the back wheel. This is the moment where he said, I've had enough now. Hector Alvarez, I can't do any more. It's over to you two. He's only 18 years of age, this rider.
Yeah, and I think that would have been spoken about in depth before, and it actually allows these two riders to now start putting out more power. They're not protecting their third rider, so they're, you know, they have to look after each other. Obviously, they need to get the two riders together to the finish, but it looked to me like that was planned. You know, yep, okay, off we go. Bit of communication there between the two riders. Just stay behind me. I'll take this.
Yeah, that's good that they are communicated in that way. This is the Belgian men out on the course. The update is at the first split they were 7.55 seconds down. We're waiting for them to arrive here at the second split. We'll see where they are now, having lost that rider. So this is the second intermediate. They go through 20 seconds down. So they're shipping time now to Spain. They've lost about another 13 seconds on that second phase of that time trial. This is the situation at the second split. Spain, Belgium, People's Republic of China are the top three. In our third phase will be the teams that we've been talking about who are the likely medalists. Switzerland, France, followed by the team of Italy, then Germany, then Australia are the last team to go, being the defending champions. Have you got any insight as to what the Australian team think about this afternoon?
They would like to win the gold medal.
Yeah, always. Aussies don't ride for any other reason, do they?
They have so much experience together. They spend a lot of time together in training camps and stuff like that. It's a very experienced team of riders. So one of the young women is a very young, talented, emerging rider. But other than that, they have 5 of their riders that are just super, super experienced. I think they want to hold on. They won that gold medal in this discipline last year in the mixed team time trial relay. So they really do. I mean, their ambition is gold. I think they'd be disappointed with anything less. However, the general public has outright named France as the favourite for the gold medal.
Absolutely. Ukraine about to go then. Yulia Burikova, Yelisaveta Holod and Olna Kulinch. These are underway then. Ukraine gets going. Ukraine third fastest, 1 minute behind China. So Ukraine have got their team out on the course now. Switzerland will go at 3:38 in the afternoon. It's now 3:21. Here's the arrival of Spain. They're still riding really well. They look good. It's been a well-drilled, well-orchestrated ride by the Spanish this afternoon. As we see the team of Spain, the women are about to go. Benito, Blasi and Ostalarza, they're about to go. Spanish team going to come up and be the fastest squad so far, with a time that's going to be 2 minutes faster than China. Spain are underway now in the women's side. That's an impressive ride by Spain, isn't it? 2 minutes and 3 seconds faster.
Yeah, absolutely. Spain having a lot more, I think a lot more experience at world level. You can see when they rolled off, you mentioned it, Anthony, that was the first team we saw that was just really professionally equipped, and they got in formation so quickly that we knew, okay, they're probably going to set the fastest time out there. China, there they are in that hot seat we spoke about, where they get to sit until their time is beaten.
They're enjoying themselves this afternoon on the big sofas. It's an important moment for a team like that, to feel like all that hard work's paid off. They're in the hot seats. They know pretty much that at some point their time will get beaten.
Yeah, absolutely. The longer they sit there, the longer they have those emotions of we're sitting in a winning position at a world championship, which is just absolutely amazing. I think the hot seat that we have at the World Championships in cycling, I don't know if they have it in a lot of other sports, where your time can be beaten by other people in timed events, but it's a great concept to be able to sit there and take in the emotions of, okay, we've had 5 or 6 teams finish and we are the best of those so far until the next wave comes in.
Also here in Rwanda, the fans like to sit and watch the hot seat, which I've noticed.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? They're staring at the athletes and just observing their communication and their emotions, and they'll see that hot seat change a lot when we get into the final wave of riders coming across the finish line. So the Spanish men now, they're just discussing how our women are out on the course now.
And here they are. Spanish women together. Benito, Blasi and Ostalarza. It's a useful group, and if they can ride well together and be well drilled, you just don't know what might happen this afternoon.
Well, that's what team time trialling is all about, being well drilled, being aware of your teammates, their condition, their ability, their capabilities. And you just saw there all the language is body language, a tip of the head, okay, I need to get on the back and have a rest. Well, very well back on the wheel there.
And you look at these riders and they all ride for pro teams. When you just pick out the helmets they're wearing, and they've got their sponsors on the side, as Belgium now make their way into that last kilometre with Campenaerts and Vervenne. Those are the 2 riders from Belgium who are left. Don't forget to follow at UCI_cycling. UCI.org is where all the information about these championships is being posted. Keep an eye on the social media at UCI_cycling. It's very entertaining, actually, some of it. Looking here at down on the Belgians, I was smiling this morning because someone had created a video we saw yesterday. Tadej Pogačar, of course, was caught by Remco Evenepoel in that time trial, and someone's created a video using different footage of that and moments with Remco, where Remco is saying, I knew it was Tadej's birthday and I just wanted to deliver a cake to him, but it took me a long, long time to catch him.
It's one of the other aspects of cycling that I love is that they're so competitive on the bike, but the camaraderie is really special. I've been involved in a lot of other sports where, you know, your nations are separated, but because we have trade teams and then we have national events as well, there's just so much camaraderie and respect for all of the athletes. They might change teams, but the friendships that they build, the relationships they build throughout the peloton is something really special.
Belgium arrive, and the Belgian women is about to go. Second fastest time for Belgium, 23.54 seconds down, having lost Florian Vermeers. Now the Belgian women get going. This change team, Marika Mert, Tess Moorman, Julie van der Velde. And they're going to get into their rhythm now and keep the tempo nice and high. Here's Spain. The Spanish women look like they have really, really worked at this discipline. It looks like they've ridden together a fair amount.
Absolutely. They've had a superb ride to this point. See, without any mishaps, no doubt they're going to take that hot seat from China and sit themselves in the gold medal winning position, and they'll be looking at the time scoring board, see how long they can stay there for.
So at the finish, so far, it's China, from Ethiopia, from Rwanda, from Uganda, from Benin. But we know that the Spanish men are going well. Hector Alvarez has just arrived at the finish. He did a big amount of work out there for that squad. Team time trialing, for me, is always kind of a mesmerising sport. The way that you see the formations all in the same kits. The fraction between a mistake and going flat out is so tight. But when it looks good like this, it looks fantastic. When they're just so well drilled, so following each other closely, changing really, really well. So recovery time.
Well, for the men in this mixed team time trial relay, they go out first and they do a lap, and then they have to wait and see how their women finish off. 3 women from the Belgium team.
And here's our leaders. These 6 are going to be very famous in Kigali tonight. They're going to be on television all day. We're seeing the teams, we're very close now we're about 10 minutes from the start of the final phase. You've talked about how intense the heat is, how warm it is out there. Some of these teams now, we've seen them in the ice jackets, which seems to be a contradiction when we've said the teams are having to warm up, but yet they've got ice jackets on. That doesn't seem quite right in terms of why would you have an ice jacket on if you're trying to warm the body up?
They're trying to warm their muscles up and activate their muscles, but at the same time, between the end of their warm-up and the start, they really want to reduce their core temperature, so their body's not using energy, burning energy just because it's hot. So they try to cool it, calm the body down, slow the heart rate down, and just save energy for that rolling off the ramp and the start. So yeah, it does sound like a little bit of a contradiction, but they do want to reserve all the energy they can by having a cooler body temperature.
And we see them warming up here. Perfect time in there with the French riders. Cédrine Cabal, a stage winner in the Tour de France Femme, there in the middle. Juliette Labousse alongside her, and Mavis Squiban is also there, who was one of the revelations of the Tour de France Femme this year, of course, with her stage wins. And this is where the bikes get checked. And this is an important aspect of what the helpers and the teams have to do each day, isn't it?
It's a huge part of time trialling is the position of the bike and the legalities that the UCI set. For safety reasons, you have to be within limits, a distance from the tip of the saddle out to the tip of the aerodynamic bars. Obviously, if you're really long, you don't have control over your bike, so they set a restriction of how long that can be, and also how far your saddle can be behind the bottom bracket. But all of these restrictions they put on the bike, and a minimum bike weight and things like that, it's all for safety reasons. It does frustrate a lot of people in the world of cycling, because they want technology to go forward, and it's being restricted for safety reasons, and it's super frustrating for a lot of people. But obviously safety first. And we're talking about the ice vest here, super hot, trying to keep core temperature low. They also always use their electrolytes in a slushy format, in an crushed ice format. They've always got ice down the chest or down the back as well, just trying to keep the body temperature low, conserve some of that energy. So the science that goes into time trialing is just unbelievable.
Yeah. It's the campaign against Genocide Museum with this incredible sculpture. Which I think really collects the atrocities of, 1994. The team of Switzerland getting themselves ready. A lot of concentration. Stefan Kung. Switzerland are twice the gold medalists. 3 of their team having won medals before this time. This is Bruno Amirai. He's won a medal here before. The team have won a silver medal, the French team. Amirai just getting ready. 3 members of the team have taken medals before. Bruno Amirai, Cédrine Cabal and Juliette Labousse. The last moments of preparation for all of these riders, knowing that in a few minutes they are going to be flat out, trying to help each other to take the victory. Jan Christen is the rider on the far side. Mauro Schmidt is the rider in the middle. Stefan Kung nearest the camera. Moving teams next year, so he will no longer be on that Villiers bike. Moving to the team of Tudor Pro Cycling, the team of Fabian Cancellara. Cancellara setting that squad up, and now with a growing squad, having ridden the Tour de France now. And it will be interesting to see how Stefan Kung does in a Swiss environment as a Swiss rider. Whether it makes him an even better bike rider than he is already. The French team are making their way to the start. You mentioned that everyone is saying that France are the favourites this afternoon.
Yeah, it is interesting to me, just looking at the names of the Australians and the Swiss team, that they have been labelled as the absolute clear favourites, France. Maybe they've spent a lot of time really on this discipline. They really want that gold medal, and they have really invested their time and efforts into taking this gold medal. But they certainly, in my opinion, won't have an easy task.
No. Mauritius have just gone through the second lap intermediate split at the beginning. Mauritius go through 1:47.28 down on China. Just a few minutes until Switzerland get underway. the most successful team in this discipline, Switzerland. Twice the gold medalists. Kung, Schmidt and Reusser have won those gold medals before. So can they produce the goods yet again? Kung goes through the picture. And Kristen ready. Today, some of these riders, or most of these riders, we saw on the reconnaissance, didn't we, of the road race?
Yeah, this morning.
Yes.
Yes, they. So the roads were closed off, so the riders would have an opportunity to see the road circuit this morning. But even riders that are racing this afternoon took that opportunity to get out there and have a look at the road circuit. So yeah, it was a very, very busy road circuit this morning with riders just analysing every little part of the road. And as we mentioned earlier in the program, Anna van der Breggen had a motorbike out there taking her to super high speeds on the descents. So not just looking at the course, but experiencing it at race pace.
These riders look ready. Bearing in mind, it's quite a long time until these riders actually ride, but the warm-up is quite intense.
Yeah, they
Ukraine
really
arriving. Let's just see them through this split. Ukraine are now the fastest team on the course.
Yeah, they're in a little bit of trouble, but China are sitting in the hot seat waiting for these two riders to cross the line. There's only 11 seconds between them at this point. It'll be a nerve-wracking situation for the Chinese. They'll want to stay in that hot seat, and they've just seen the two riders split up, which means that they're in a little bit of trouble. So they are ahead, but the Chinese riders will be keeping their fingers crossed that they have a little bit extra time in that hot seat.
This is the Italian team. The Italian men are also in the next group of riders. Here's the arrival of Spain. Wow. The Spanish team are flying this afternoon. Intermediate 1 on lap 2, and the Spanish women are going to go through with a great time. 3 minutes and 10 seconds faster than the Ukrainian women's squad to that point. That's a significant move.
It's huge, but as you said, Anthony, when they rolled off the start line, here's the first team that looks to me like they're really professional and dialed in, experienced, and now we get a glimpse of the Australian team getting ready, defending champions. As we said, they might be a little bit disappointed with anything but gold here today as we go back to the start ramp.
This is the start of Switzerland. They won in 2022 and 2023. Mauro Schmidt and Stefan Kung have been two of the medalists. Marlin Reusser, the only woman in the team who is retained from those two gold medal wins. The start of Switzerland. They get going. Stefan Kung is the rider who leads. Tries to get these riders up to speed as quickly as possible. Well, Spain might have been the first one, but Switzerland are certainly well drilled off the start, aren't they?
Absolutely. I think they're a definite medal chance, Switzerland. We've got France, Australia, Switzerland, and then Italy and Germany, outside chances. I mean, we've mentioned it a couple of times, but the challenges here in Rwanda can bring us some big surprises. There are just so many different aspects with the altitude, the climate, the travel, all this type of stuff, opposed to a general world championship held in Europe. It's bringing a lot of challenges to the riders on one of the most difficult circuits they've ever had to race a world championship on.
Yeah.
Well, they look good, Switzerland.
They do look good, don't they? When we say they look good, what do we really mean? If you're a new fan watching this and we think, well, I can tell that they're riding a bike, but how do we know that they're good?
Because their ability and capabilities, power outputs, seem at this point to be very compatible, and that their turns are very consistent. They've got the equipment, no doubt. You look at them, they've been in the wind tunnel, they've got all the optimal aerodynamics that they can possibly have. But if we talk about why do we think they look good today at this point, which is very, very early in the race, we must say, anything can happen. They look like they are very in tune with each other.
Yeah, and they're following so close, aren't they?
Yeah, they wouldn't have 1 to 2 centimetres between when they're on the wheel, out of the wind, getting in the slipstream. Best of the best. I mean, sometimes they touch tyres.
Do they? And don't fall?
Don't fall, no. Just feel a little bit of a bump and a rub. But they do. They sit a couple of centimetres, 1 to 2 centimetres. If you watch a team pursuit on the track, they're, I mean, even closer. You can barely slip a piece of paper between them. But on the road, you have to give a couple of centimetres because of the road surface, obviously. This team from Switzerland, they use their equipment to the maximum. As we mentioned before, everything dialed in.
This is the team of France. This is a useful group here. This is the 3 riders who will represent France this afternoon. Bruno Amirai, Paul Sexas, under 23 world champion, junior world champion, and Pavel Sivakov there on the right-hand side. This is a very, very strong group of riders. They go sprinting away. Sexas was disappointed with his time trial the other day. Posted on his social media that he prepared specifically to do well, and it just didn't happen. So he was extremely disappointed, pretty unhappy with the way that he dealt with his individual time trial at the weekend. So Amirai, Sexas, Sivakov now into position. Amirai, multiple national time trial champion of France, wears number 31. 32 is Sexas, rides for Decathlon du Zèle Mondial. On the back is Pavel Sivakov, a teammate of Tadej Pogačar on the road. The Belgian women are arriving at intermediate 1. Spain have gone through there in 41 minutes 0071, and Belgium are going to go through with a time that's going to be nearly a minute down to this point. They've lost a lot of time to that Spanish team, because at the convention centre the gap was only 23.5 seconds.
And I wonder how different that would have been if they hadn't have lost a rider overnight in the women. The strongest woman that they would have had out there today in Marta Gusens. She unfortunately fell last night and hit her head and had to have stitches, but she would have made a big difference, I think, for the Belgium team. But they had to change their mindset to let's just get out there for experience and see what we can do. Well, warm up, music in the zone. So riders have specific playlists that they use for specific races, specific environments. We're back with the Swiss team. They'll be hoping for a gold medal. Definitely a medal chance.
Well, if they do, it'll be a hat-trick of victories in the mixed team relay.
Always gives even if they're not all the same riders, it does give them confidence that we have dominated this with 2 gold medals in the past. So, yeah, back to the Italian women.
They've chosen to warm up outside, albeit under the palm trees, and I wonder whether that's because there is a bit of a breeze. They've got the big fans down there, but actually, when I was standing on this road, and Rochelle and I commentated in that kind of glass building you can see in the background, but when I was standing on the road earlier, the wind was blowing down that hill. I wonder whether that's what they've decided to do, is to position themselves so the wind is kind of in their faces, cooling them down a little bit. It's a hot wind, but it does give you a bit of respite. Italy then with Matteo Cattaneo, Marco Frigo, Matteo Sobrero. Italy are successful. They've won medals on 3 occasions, 2 bronze, 1 silver. Bit of a change of the team this time. 3 of the team riders overall have got medals, Cattaneo, Sobrero and Palladin. But this time they don't have the likes of Elisa Longo-Borghini, who's pretty much always ridden the mixed relay team time trial. She's won silver in 2022. Bronze last year. She's always been part of it. Bronze in 2021. But she only arrived here in Rwanda, I think, yesterday, Elisa Longo-Borghini.
Yeah, she'll be a huge contender in the road race, but as we've mentioned, it's such a challenging environment here in Rwanda. I wonder if flying in so late for the event could be a disadvantage. It's very hard to adapt to the climate here. I think a lot of athletes have underestimated the altitude.
Primoz Roglic is flying in on Friday.
Well, there's two, in my opinion, there's two tactics. You come in really early or you come in very last minute. So we'll see.
We'll see who pays off.
Not great for the Italian team. They don't have the strength of Elisa Longo Borghini today, but she'll be focusing on the women's road race on Saturday. You can see here the radio in the stomach, and the earpiece you can see as well. That's radio communication between the riders and the director. The riders won't use it too much because that means they will increase their frontal surface area if they move. So they don't want to move, but they are getting instructions from the team vehicle behind them, which means they can stay in their aero position and don't need to put their head up too much, because the director will say road turning left, road turning right, move a little bit this way, that way, or your teammate behind you struggling. So there's a lot of advantages having that communication with the team director in the team car behind. But this is a first ever at the World Championships where the team car is equipped with a GPS device that is giving all information of wind, elevation of the road, temperature, every single thing at every single point of the race that is relayed to the UCI's central control centre.
Yeah.
So the UCI has also all of that data for safety reasons. They can also see if a rider's been dropped or has left the course, or all of that kind of thing. So it's a huge development in technology and science for team time trialling, any time trialling event.
That's good to know they've got all of that information in these cars.
Australian men just wishing each other good luck.
They're getting ready. The German team are the penultimate team to go. It's the team, Miguel Heidemann, Louis Riedart and Jonas Rutsch about to go. And the start of Germany. Here's the arrival of the World Cycling Centre to the finish. They're outside the time of People's Republic of China. They're almost at the conclusion of this time trial, the World Cycling Centre. A little bit ragged. But the World Cycling Centre finish now with the fourth fastest time. They slot in behind Rwanda and Ethiopia, with China in the lead.
I have a feeling they would have liked to cross the line and move into the hot seat, because it's a bit of a shake of the head and disappointment. But can't always go perfect on the day, you know, especially in a team event where you have 6 riders that need to be on their best on the same day.
But China is still there.
Yeah, they'll be very, very happy. They've spent a lot of time now that we've had 6 teams cross the line and they are still in the hot seat. So 6 teams out of 15 on the start list. A very interesting thing about today's team time trial is that there's 15 teams in the mixed relay starting, and they will all gain UCI points. So even if they finish 15th, there'll be 10 points awarded that will be divided between the 6 riders, but the nation will take the 10 UCI points. So it's a big opportunity for nations to gain UCI points, and the reason they want to gain those UCI points is so they can have more numbers of riders at the next World Championships.
Very important then that every single second counts out here on the road. Switzerland are riding extremely well. Look at them.
Yeah, they do mean business.
They do.
They're a medal chance. Are they a gold medal chance? That's the big question. So I think personally, out of the top 3 teams I've labelled, so we've got France, Australia and Switzerland, it'll be about how much time they've spent together, how much time they've had here on the course, they know the course, how well they know each other. Just, it's such a team event. So it doesn't matter how one individual is coping with the climate or what the condition and their health is. It's all about compatibility with your teammates and how much time you spent together.
Here's the start of the final team. This is Australia. Michael Matthews, Luke Plapp and Jay Vine. Jay Vine clearly on form, medalist in the elite time trial the other day, second on the stage of the Vuelta in the time trial. Luke Plapp, a stage winner at Giro d'Italia this year. And lovely to see Michael Matthews back and racing. He's about to get underway in the World Championships for his home nation. These three riders roll away. Michael Matthews, of course, incredibly was discovered in 2025 this year in the summer as he was getting ready for the Tour de France, a pulmonary embolism which was life-threatening, and he says he's grateful to be alive. Well, he's here in the World Championships now. He had to have after that discovery, because he said, I was thinking that as we just see Switzerland coming up to this first split, it's going to be interesting against Spain how Switzerland are, and it's going to be really, really close. 6.9 seconds between those squads. So Switzerland now the fastest team on the course. But Michael Matthews was saying that he just wasn't feeling good on some of his efforts. And eventually the doctor checked everything, and they found this embolism, and they basically said if he hadn't had it discovered, then a couple of days later he would be dead.
It's an interesting thing I just thought about as you were speaking, Anthony, is that a fortunate thing that athletes have is that they are pushing their bodies to extremes very often, which means they are medically tested a lot. So rather than a general person that doesn't go to the doctor so often or thinks maybe I just have the flu or whatever, being an athlete, you have a team of doctors around you that are always testing to make sure you're at your optimal performance. So
Mauritius finish, fourth fastest, Rochelle, fourth fastest for Mauritius. Yeah, you're right. And as Mauritius crossed the line there, he's lucky that he had all of that around him.
Yeah, absolutely, because sometimes these things can just go undetected until it's too late, and very fortunate for Michael Matthews.
Great to see him back in racing, though. But here's the story of the day so far, because Spain's women are approaching the line. They've caught Ukraine in front of them, and they're about to put themselves into the hot seat. The question is whether they're going to surprise everybody and get themselves a medal this afternoon, because this is a fantastic performance by the Spanish team combined, men and women. The Spanish team gave them, at the end of the relay, they gave them, 2 minutes and 3 seconds on the Chinese squad, and here at the finish, they're going to have doubled it, or more than doubled it. That's an impressive performance from Spain.
The Spanish women there coming into the finish looked so professional. You could see that they had their hands together, which is decreasing the frontal surface area. That tells me they've been in the wind tunnel. They've been training together. They have put a lot of effort into this World Championship mixed team relay. So, yeah, I think a medal from Spain's going to be, well, that time that they've just posted might make a few of the other teams a little bit nervous.
Well, I think it might do, because that's an impressive performance from Spain.
The other thing is taking the World Championship here seriously. A lot of these athletes at the top end elite level, they've been in heat chambers, climate change chambers with altitude, acclimatized. So then they only have fewer aspects of the traveling with jet lag and the air quality, things like that to adapt to, rather than the altitude and the heat. They've already spent 5 weeks. We've got trouble here with the...
France are just getting into their rhythm as they go downhill. France are now the fastest team on the course, though. They've gone through that first split with a time that's 9 seconds faster than Switzerland and 15 seconds faster than the team of Spain. So this French squad is really moving now. They look good.
Well, the French men have completed their lap, and they're sitting there hoping that the women can bring it home for them. And I just wonder, like...
Well, they're just discussing what goes on here.
Cuando estéis recuperadas, coger las bicis y bajaros, que están los chicos allí. A ver qué ocurre, ¿vale? Venga.
I'm wondering how much that Alejandro Valverde is now the new Spanish road cycling coach for the men. But I'm wondering how much impact he might be having across the board.
Oh, huge impact. If you have a rider like that with that much experience.
Yeah.
As a head of a, you know, even if it's just the men's discipline, it's obviously has time to educate the women as well and just give them that little bit of motivation and experience and knowledge and, you know, words, just a few words for an athlete can go a very long way.
But also, because he was such a winner, he's going to put into that squad, we're here to win. We're not here to mess around. We're here to win medals. And that gives them a lot of belief. Well, the Italian team are in disarray as they make their way uphill. They've already lost a rider, and that's a surprise. Sobrero has been dropped. Now, Sobrero's won a stage of the Giro d'Italia in an individual time trial. This guy is no slouch when it comes to a time trial, but he's obviously having an absolutely horrible day. You can see how much this is hurting.
He's not happy and he doesn't want to give up. There's not much chance of him getting back on because it's not a great day. They've decided that we're going to leave him now, and he's just fighting to get back on, which is very, very difficult. The Australian team out there now, very, very early in this mixed team relay. They look really dialed in.
They certainly do. They're looking very strong.
But as you said, the first time check, France went through the fastest, and they have been labelled the outright favourites for today. So they haven't disappointed at the first time check. With the men, they'll still have the women to do their lap afterwards. We now look at the Italian riders out on the course, Switzerland. They're still looking really good as well. So we know that they're a medal chance. They have 2 gold medals in this discipline in previous years, and today they're looking really, really good. So 3 of them still together. Early stages of this race, they still have the 3 women from Switzerland. You can see that their compatibility is, at this point, before the fatigue really sets in, it's very, very professional. Excellent sock height. So there has been penalties given out for. It's an interesting rule if you're new to cycling about the length of the socks. They have to be midway between the knee and the ankle. They can't be any higher than that point. And some of the riders pull them up after they have them checked. The reason for that rule. So we just go back to the Belgian women now coming in.
Everyone is a winner. Everyone is giving.
Right. Let's hope she's okay for Saturday's women's road race. At the moment, I mentioned the aerodynamic aspect of this sport, the crossed hands at the front and having the head close to the handlebars. Oh dear. So we said Switzerland were a medal chance. It looks like they've lost one of their male riders. So quite close to the finish, so not too bad. A lot of riders will have that strategy that when they get to that cobbles section, 2 or 3 kilometres from the finish, they'll drop down to 2 riders. Men have to complete 1 lap, and then they'll pass it over to their 3 women. So intermediate split down with an average speed as training on the course, and now watching the racing, the men are so experienced. I think we'll see a great time posted by them. We just look at the aerodynamics there and the materials they use in the skin suits. Some of the riders that spend more time on the front to reduce their frontal surface area and the wind drag. They even go to the extent of not having a dial boa clip on the edge of their wind. It's such a technical aspect, aerodynamics of the time trial. So the Swiss are down to 2. The men are bringing it home in the last couple of kilometres until they pass over to the women. 9 seconds at the last time check behind France, who are the favourites for today. The Australian women are waiting for the men to complete their lap. Amanda Spratt on the left, a veteran of women's cycling, so experienced. Yeah. It's the end of the day for one of the riders of France, but they would have planned that they finish off with 2 riders. They only need 2 men to cross the line before they send the women off. Wheels there of the Australian team just makes it every little second's going to count on this circuit.